Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. In this video, we're going to make that outfeed table right there. This is a wonderful little outfeed table that fits this table saw perfectly down here. And it has a little twist. Let me show you. It is on casters, and I can roll this out and use it as an assembly table. I can work all the way around this thing. There's plenty of room to roll it around in this area. I can't quite move it now because you're in the way. That camera is right there, but I can keep going with this and completely twist it in any direction and use it as an assembly table. When I need an outfeed table, right back in. And it's an outfeed table. So let's get going. Let's build this thing. Hey guys, I forgot to mention in the intro there that the base of this is the Kreg Universal Bench. I built one of these earlier and I'll link it above. You can go see that build in the other video. So now let's go off to the joiner and get that face flattened. Alright guys, 3 passes and we have one flat face on this board. Now what we're going to do is put the flat face to the fence and flatten an edge. Just a reminder guys, I'm only showing one board here for the face and the edge. I had to do this for 5 of these. Okay, we now have a flat face and a flat edge. Honestly guys, that edge was flat probably after the first pass, definitely after the second. I did the third pass to get rid of the rounded corner. From the joiner we go to the planer. The planer is the thicknesser and we need to get down to about 1.25 inches. Remember, if this was any higher, the boards would hit the outfeed table, which wouldn't be good. With these 4-inch casters, this table can only have 1.25 inches thick top, so we're thicknessing quite a bit off of these boards. And as luck would have it, right here, I blew a fuse. Alright, I figured the power problems out and resolved that. Finished off planing all of these to 1.25 inches, and now we're off to the table saw to rip them to final width. Don't ask me how guys, but I lost the footage of me actually ripping all the rounded corners off. So here is a shameless recreation of me ripping a rounded corner off of one of the off-cut pieces. Same exact principle, you're just taking about 1/4 inch off the edge of the board. Alright guys, it's glue up time. As you can see, I have 2 of the boards already prepared in the clamps. I did a dry glue up here. It's always good, especially with something this large, to do a test. What I've done is I've got 4 parallel clamps here that are set slightly larger so the 2 boards have a little room to move, so I can flip one over, put some glue on it, smooth it around, clamp them together. I already have ready over here 3 more clamps that I've set appropriately to go in each of the gaps so that I get good balanced clamping pressure both top and bottom. And then I have 2 F clamps ready to go on each side to basically bring the ends perfectly square, to try to keep this as square as I can. These 2 boards are very, very well matched. They seamlessly go together. They have a really good glue line, and I expect this glue up to go very well. The other 2 large boards, one of them completely warped, guys. It's just part of woodworking. I jointed and ripped these boards last night. It's about 24 hours later. One board moved. I mean, it moved considerably to where I don't think I can bend it and get it glued up. I'm going to give it a try after this one because, you know, you can put a warped board into glue and bring it back. I will try clamping it down to the table saw, get it flat, bring the other one to it. I don't know if it's going to work. If it does, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. If the 2 together, glued together, are no good, I'll just rip it apart right at the seam, the other board will still be fine, and I'll have to make another one. I'm hoping not to have to, but if I have to, I have to. So I'm ready to do this glue up. And yes, I am doing this right on my table saw. And some of you are going to go, oh my God, you're going to get your table saw all glued up? Yeah, I am. This table saw has been waxed and waxed and waxed. I've got 15 years of wax going on this thing. Glue's not going to hurt it. You know, I'll have to do a cleanup when I'm done, but it's right now the only assembly area I have because that assembly table that we're building is not ready yet. This is hopefully the last time I do a glue up on my table saw. Okay guys, we fast forwarded through this. This glue up actually went fairly well. These two boards, like I said, were very well planed and matched. Whoops, there went one of my clamps on the ground. It's a good thing we're doing a voiceover here because I'm sure something that couldn't go on YouTube came out of my mouth when that happened. But anyway, I was saying these two boards are going to work out quite nicely. They're very well flattened, and this glue up is going to work very well. You're going to see in a minute I'm going to have to do some work on the other one because of that warped board I talked about. That board is going to come back to haunt us later in this video. Wet lumber is difficult to work with. I would never use this kind of lumber to build a coffee table, but something in the shop, I think it's worth a try. All right, one down, one to go. All right, here's the second glue up, guys, and I don't know if you can see, but there are two black handles sticking up there. Those are clamp handles where I have the other board clamped flat to the top of those 4 parallel clamps using the table saw's flat surface as a reference. That brought the bow of that board out, and now I'm clamping these two boards together. And truth be told, this glue up worked very well. The bow is gone. Those two boards dried to be nice and flat, and the two boards worked nicely. The bow is gone. At the end of this video, I'll talk about a cup that started happening at the end of that board. Wet lumber, again, I'll say it again. Wet lumber is difficult and can move on you. All right, guys, this is kind of a big glue up here. So literally, I got the two panels that we glued up already. We want to bring him together to this middle piece. I've got the clamps kind of prearranged as best I can. Some of them are going to be floating in the air out here, so I have to just deal with it. So what I'm going to do is spread the glue first. Okay, you can see here's one of our two earlier glue ups I have that I'm applying the glue to. And both of these two panel glue ups worked out well. And you can see we're putting about a 4-inch wide piece in between to get the final 31 inches that we're trying to get with this top. This glue up went very well, actually. You know, it looks cumbersome, but it's only 2 lines of glue, and you know, the parallel clamps work very well. Parallel clamps for glue ups like this are just a godsend. They're expensive, but they're worth it. They work very well. You can see in the front of the video here the blue Kreg Universal Bench system. Like I said, up on top here again, I'll post the build to the bench that you can see in the back of this video under the window. That's the one that I built last year upstairs. It's the same universal bench system, just a different dimension. I really like these metal bench systems. I think they're great bases, and these tops are going to make for extremely good working surfaces. And you know, I'm getting a double duty here as a Outfeed table as well. So there's the final glue up. It worked really well. All right, here I am now fastening the top to the bench, and here's a point where I think Kreg could do slightly better. I mean, I do love these benches, but each of the rail systems are 3.5, 4 inches wide, whatever they are there, and they have a hole on the front and the back, but I didn't have a drill long enough, so I had to go buy a pilot drill long enough, and then my driver for my drill didn't fit through the top hole to get to the bottom hole, so I have to hand screw them here. Not really a big deal when you do pilot holes. You can hand screw them in. Something Kreg could probably make a little bit easier, but all in all, not a big deal. Alright, now with my Woodpecker's 24-inch T-square, we will make a square line on each end. You might be able to see over on the other side, I've already put the line on that side. And now we're making the line on this side, and we will cut both ends off square with my circular saw cutting jig I made last month. And here is that circular saw cutting jig. I'll put a link up above to the video when I built this, which really shows in detail how to make it and use it. As you can see, I'm wasting away a knot here. That was a loose knot, so that's going to be gone. And there we have it. The circular saw jig did a nice job. Both ends are nice and square. And I am wheeling the Outfeed table into its final place for use at the table saw. Okay, there was a lot of sanding here. I think about 10 seconds is about what we want to watch. There you have it. Alright guys, sometimes I see things in the wood and I just like to goof with them. And here I see, you see this coming down like this? I'm going to trace that with this Sharpie. And then put a oh my face on there, and he's a scary little critter, isn't he? We're going to put some boiled linseed over this now and kind of seal that right in with the rest of this thing. Kind of neat. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Alright guys, boiled linseed oil time. I'm going to put a couple coats on this side. I have already put a coat on the bottom and these two edges, so I have to do these edges I just cut off and the top. Really nothing special here. I'm just brushing on a coat of boiled linseed oil to the top and the two sides we just cut off. Here is the second coat going on. As you can see, it's got a nice sheen going there. There's no real reason for this to go past this level. This will work well for a bench. Alright, so we now have the Outfeed table slash assembly table in its final location. You see it fits well right up to the end of the wall here, to the end of my table saw perfectly. It's 58 by 31 inches. That's how it came out finished. And I really like it. The fence, obviously, works perfectly with it. As an Outfeed table, I mean, it's basically set up. It's perfect. Stuff can just be pushed across. It's a perfect Outfeed table, but it also doubles as an assembly table. I can easily just roll it out and walk behind it and do whatever I need to do on this table. The beauty of this table, now I'm a little constrained here because the camera's right there and I can't move it anymore, but I'm able to move this further and twist it around, and I can walk all the way around this as an Outfeed table, as an assembly table, which is really kind of cool. You can see it's kind of wet in spots still. I got a couple of coats of boiled linseed oil on it, which is really all it needs. Something to protect it. You know, we're going to be gluing on this, we're going to be painting on this, we're going to be drilling into it, probably nailing into it. It's going to get beat up a little bit, so what I've done to it so far is all it needs. I'm very happy with it like that. I'm probably going to get a few questions as to why I didn't route grooves here for the miter slots, and the reason for that is I'm able to move the table. I'd rather move the table and not put the grooves there. So to use a sled or something, I just move the table and use the sled. If this was permanently affixed to the table saw, you're right, I'd have to put some grooves there. I don't need to do that because I can move it. So what else is coming to this, guys? I think you can notice that the table's a little canted that way, meaning I have more overhang on that side than this side. I have a couple inches of overhang on these two sides, so I can put clamping all the way around this. The reason I have more over there is we're going to put a vise over there in that corner. That'll be in the next video. In the next video, we're also going to put a cabinet in this space down here for some storage. And then we're going to put something on this top, probably some T-slots, some T-track, something for some holding power. I'm looking at a couple of different products for that now to finish this up to make it a better assembly table. Right now it's an excellent outfeed table. After the next video it's going to be an excellent assembly table. Now, there were a few boo-boos in this one. I don't want to hide things that I kind of had to deal with, so let me explain. In the video, I talked about clamping down. This board here bowed on me. These here were fine, but this last one bowed a little bit, and I clamped it down. And you can see this seam here worked out really well. But this little knucklehead here, he hates me. These boards worked very nicely. This one now is cupping. This was wet lumber. I got this from the big box store. I got it from Lowe's down in North Carolina. I can't get southern yellow pine here where I'm at. And so I got it down there, and this is still a little wet. And it's construction grade lumber, and it's wet. This board is continuing to move, but it's moving like this. So it's cupping away, and it just gives me a little more gap here, and it actually is fine. The boards slide over it fine. It hasn't moved enough to affect me when I'm using it as an assembly table, but we're going to have to watch it. That board might move to the point where I have to cut it off and put another one on there. It's part of the deal when you're using construction grade lumber. Construction grade lumber is wet. It's not kiln dried. You can get kiln dried, but this wasn't. And it just, this board moved. The other ones didn't, but this one fought me. So something to think about, guys. I like southern yellow pine. This looks really nice. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very happy with this top. There are some knots here. These are all solid right now. If I have to fix one, I'll fix one. I can just fill it with something. It's not a big deal. So that's this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one where we put the cabinet, the vise, and some holding up here. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please hit the like button. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.